Yes. Welcome to the video. So, I know I haven't uploaded a video in a long time. It's just I haven't really been feeling YouTube recently. And I also started school recently. So, I haven't been able to work on it as much. And I've been trying to edit on my phone instead of my normal device. And it's been a lot harder and it's taking a lot more time. However, I have been procrastinating a lot. And I should have got this video out a long time ago, so I apologize for that. But anyways, for today, we're gonna be ranking the 30 classes in Angry Birds Epic. Now, since you guys seem to not watch the longer videos, at least not very much of it, I'm gonna try to make my video shorter. So, each video is gonna only have 5 rankings, so it's gonna be split up into a 6-parter. And I'll be discussing why I ranked them. And at the end of each video, I'm going to have memes relating to the classes. So if you don't play Angry Birds Epic or you don't watch the video, then you won't get the memes. So for part 1, I'm going to be starting off with the lowest tier. This is like the F to D tier classes. Now, just because I rank something low doesn't mean you should never use it or that it's not fun. And just because I rank something high doesn't mean it's perfect, you should always use it. I'm just ranking how valuable it is to use in arena, in bosses, in the PvE mode, mostly arena, and in caves. Because I'm mostly basing it off arena because it's most competitive. So yeah, we'll be going over the F and D tier classes today. At number 30, in my opinion, the worst class in the game is Lightningbird. Now, there are some good things to it. So, against bosses that don't spawn minions, it's really good. Because if you pair it up with treasure hunters, you could put the boss in an infinite loop when they try to charge up. Because you could just use lightning fast on the treasure hunters so that you make sure that you reduce their charge meter and that they don't get their charge in. And it also has the chance of dispelling multiple targets at once, which can be good. Now, the problem is it has very low single target damage. Now, I'm gonna be talking about this with a lot of Chuck's classes, but basically, you're focusing on one guy, generally. Because once you take out one guy, you have just depleted the enemy of their resources and power, so it's easier to take out the rest of the guys. Unless you're going against undead, you're not going to try to take them all out at once, because if you do that, you have to deal with them at their full power the whole time, and if you're spreading out your attack, it's going to take longer to kill all of them. Now, another problem is with lightning fast. So like I said, you're focusing one guy. But with lightning fast, it attacks a random target, so you're not even guaranteed to hit the guy you're focusing on. Just use a class that can reliably do solid damage, instead of using lightning fast on another bird and hoping that it hits the right target to deal extra damage. And even the dispel isn't reliable, because it's not 100%. Classes like Trickster and Captain are good, because they guarantee to cleanse. Cleanse is a very helpful ability. So not guaranteeing that cleanse can cause a lot of problems, especially when you're going against guys with like counter, where you have to take it out immediately, or else you're going to be punished hard. I know I'm talking a lot about targeting a single target, but it is a very important point, and I need to nail it into your guys' head right now, so that I don't have to explain it as much later. So anyways, Captain and Trickster are guaranteed to cleanse that one guy. However, Lightningbird does have the chance of cleansing multiple guys. However, it might not cleanse the right people. So, like, you're focusing one guy, but it doesn't cleanse the guy you're focusing. And B, you might not even need the dispel on the other guys. Like, if it's a defensive one, it doesn't really matter because you're not focusing on them. So, it's better to focus on one guy, make sure you cleanse them, make sure you take him out efficiently, than rolling the dice, hope that you cleanse the right guy, and that you cleanse a guy that actually needs to be cleansed. It's just too circumstantial and too luck-based. Number 29, we have Mage. So, the only thing good I could say about him is that his support ability, Lightning Shield, isn't too bad, and that's kind of a double-edged compliment. Now, he has a lot of things wrong with him, though. First of all, he has a low single target damage. And he doesn't have Dispel or anything to pair up with it, unlike Lightningbird. So it has no redeeming factors. It does slightly more than Lightningbird, but I feel like Lightningbird's attack is better still. And even Lightning Shield, I know I said it's not too bad, but it's also not great, because generally you're not getting enough value out of it, because it's only on one guy, and generally not every guy is going to be attacking the Lightning Shield. Now, you can't get its full potential with targeting loadouts. That's where you use Avengers, Princess, or Rogues to funnel all the attention on one guy and then put Lightning Shield, Counter, or Cupcake Trap on them. And generally, Cupcake Trap and Counter do more damage. Sometimes Lightning Shield does more damage because Counter is put on a low attack bird, or Cupcake Trap is activated on a guy that did low damage. But usually, big usually, Lightning Shield does the least damage out of the three. Okay, number 28, Avenger. Well, this is an interesting... So, the only thing good I have to say about him is that he has high damage potential, and that he's decent in targeting loadouts. I wouldn't say he's amazing. I feel like he's a bit overrated in targeting loadouts, but he's still decent in... Oh boy, where do I begin with the cons? Well, it's outclassed by Stone Guard and Ice Savage in damage, and the entire point of Avenger is that it's able to do a ton of damage. But if it's outclassed by those two, what's the point of using it? Because its support ability is pretty trash. Avengers is not good outside of targeting loadouts, because A, it won't be taking enough damage to boost attack up, and it already has a low base attack, so it needs to be taking that damage. And second of all, if you use I Dare You on Avenger, or any other bird for that matter, if you are not running Princess, that you're not going to be healing enough, and eventually, since all the focus is going to be on one guy, that one guy probably is going to die. Now, let's talk about in targeting loadouts. So, in targeting loadouts, you're running Princess. So, generally, you're able to heal a good amount, but usually, you're still not healing enough. Usually, they're still doing more damage than you could heal. So, eventually, that guy's still going to die. And if you try to switch targets off of Avengers, then, well, while you're still trying to heal Avengers back to a good amount of health, the other guy that you put I Dare You on is now taking a bunch of damage, and now you're behind on two guys. Two guys have low health. So you don't want to be doing that. And also, if you heal Avengers, it does less damage. But if you don't heal Avengers, it's gonna die. So it's constantly in a paradox with itself. So, coming in at number 27, we have Cleric. Now, overall, Cleric's attack is pretty decent. Just being able to heal all your guys and attack at the same time is pretty decent. But healing shield has so many problems, and it really brings Cleric way down. Now, the problem with healing shield is that it's luck dependent usually in the PvE mode, and in arena, well, you just kind of screwed. And here's why. You're not healing enough to be net gaining health. Say you do 100 damage to one guy, well, you're only healing 15 damage back. Now, the point of healing shield is that even though one guy is net losing health, the other people are net gaining health. And if you're targeting one guy, like in arena, then you should have no problem killing that one guy, because they're losing health really fast, and it's being barely slowed down by healing shield. The other people, you're not focusing, so the heal isn't helpful towards them. And the healing strike, while it's a decent heal, it's not enough to deal with a whole loadout going at it. And also, while healing strike is overall a good ability, it is very weak in damage compared to some of the other classes Matilda has. While I probably can put Avengers above Cleric, considering Avengers and targeting loadouts fits a lot better into that loadout than Cleric fits into any other loadout. Avengers can be a bit of a liability outside of targeting loadouts, where Cleric isn't a liability at all. It's not great in any loadout, but if you were just slap it in your loadout, it's not going to be terrible. Alright, we have Wizard for number 26, the last one we're covering today. So I will say, Wizard does have a pretty good attack. Its main attack does slightly less damage than the blues and Bomb does on average. However, he does also hit 3 other guys for decent damage. And I know I said you want to be dealing damage to one guy at a time, but doing slightly less damage to the main guy and dealing decent damage to 3 other guys, I would say that's a pretty good trade-off. It does not give any negative effects, however, or does not support your birds. But I will give that a pass, considering it does pretty good damage, and I guess they don't want to make it OP. However, I cannot excuse his support ability. It honestly might be the worst in the game. So it gives a bird energized, which means if a guy attacks the person with energized, the attacker has a 20% chance of getting stunned, and it fills up your chili pepper by 5%. Now, 1 in 5 chance is already less than Ice Savage's Ice Shield, and it only affects one guy. And while it does give the extra chili pepper, 5% is very insignificant. I would say one attack gives about 10%. So 5% is very insignificant. And it just does not do nearly enough and is not guaranteed to happen.